Hello YouTube, thank you for tuning in to Watch On channel. My name is Anders and finally today I was able to take the time to do the review of the two Pegasus watches I bought some months ago. So Pegasus Watches is a small watch company based in Venezia, which is Italian for Venice. So the beautiful city of Venice houses the Pegasus Watch Company. And what they do, they source the funding for the watches from Kickstarter and Indiegogo, I think. So essentially, they just released these two watches. This is the Nettuno and the Mercurio. Essentially, they're the same watches. It's built from the same material and it houses the same movement as well as the same kind of leather strap. But as it is two different watches in design and colors, I would like to just review them one at a time. So I'm starting with the Nettuno watch here. So just before we get into the review of this watch, I would just like to say that remember to subscribe to my channel. You can hit the logo button down in the right corner, then you will never miss another video. And I got a lot of reviews coming up. I know I haven't been really good at releasing videos for the last weeks, but it's holiday period here in Denmark and I've been traveling. I went to Greece and tomorrow I'm actually going to Italy, but not Venice. I'm going to Rome. So I would just like to get these two reviews of these Pegasus watches out for you guys to watch here during the next weeks where I'm gone. So what we got here is of course, as you can see, somewhat of an Rolex homage watch, and I even didn't manage to set the date right because it's the 16th of July, not the 15th, but never mind. Before we get into the watch, the dimensions and all the different specifications of this watch and the pricing, of course, I would just like to talk a little about Pegasus Watches. Pegasus Watches is a small micro brand, as I said, from Venezia, Venice in Italy. They source the money, they get the money to produce the watches through crowdfunding. And the first watch they did was a much more of a Rolex Submariner homage, actually a quartz watch, which I really don't like, but I think they're actually moving towards something really nice. And I will get into that with the two watches when I review them. Just to say that they're actually now trying to crowdfund a new watch, which is, it looks kind of like the Rolex Explorer 1, but with their own touch. Just like these two watches, they got, of course, the inspiration from Rolex Submariner, but they do get their own ideas into the watches as well. So what this watch comes in is this handmade wooden box with this Pegasus Watches logo and text branded into the wood. So very nice box and very simple, but I like it. I think it's pretty cool instead of just some cardboard box or some fake wood or plastic boxes, as you see. So in the box you get an additional strap, a NATO strap, which really doesn't make much sense that it's black, since I don't really think, that the black really is befitting for the blue dial. But well, I can always use it for another watch. You get this bracelet here with blue pearls, and nothing for me. I think it's very nice of Pegasus watches to include this in the box, but to me this is way too feminine, and I would never wear this. And I think I never understood why you have to wear a lot of bracelets and stuff on your wrist when you got a very nice watch. The watch should be enough for your wrist, but that's just my opinion. I just don't like it. You get a warranty card, which funnily enough isn't stamped or anything. So hopefully this watch won't break. So as I said, I got this watch from a Kickstarter campaign, and when I bought this watch, I bought it with the other one we just saw, the Mercurio. And actually that gave me about a half price. So this is priced at their website for, I believe, 529 euro, which is just about 600 American dollars. And I won't get much into the pricing. I would just say it's up to each and every consumer to think about what they would like to pay for a product. So if you really like this watch and you think you're getting your money's worth, then you buy it. If you don't, well, then you don't buy it. I don't really see the point of watch channels trying to discuss different price points as if we actually know how much it takes to produce a watch, or how much they need to pay for labor and stuff like that. It's the free market. If you like a product and you think the price is right, you buy it. If you don't like a product, you don't buy it, and you don't like the price, you don't buy it. It's pretty simple. So with that out of the way, let's get into this watch. And of course, this is a dive watch, as we can see here. Let's get the dimensions here. So we just get, it's quite hard to measure, but let me just try it here. Just about 42 millimeters, including the crown, 44. Thickness is 13.7. Lug width, 22. And from lug to lug, which is really important to get measured to know if it will fit your wrist, you get just about 49 to 50. So pretty standard dimensions for modern day dive watches. And what we got here is, of course, a blue bezel insert and a blue dial. And the blue dial is just, it seems a little more matte than the bezel insert. And I really think that gives it a really nice look, a very nice effect. So the watch is built from 316 L stainless steel, which is surgical grade steel, which is pretty standard today, but not many years ago it was actually a selling point that you build a watch from 316 L stainless steel. So this will of course not rust if you go into the water with this. So the watch houses a mechanical myota movement. This is a movement made by the Japanese company Citizen. And this is a 9000 grade movement. Many smaller watch companies and micro brands uses an 8000 caliber. But what you get essentially with this 9015 myota movement is hacking and hand winding, as well as a very nice sweep of the hand. If you ever try out one of the lower grade movements from myota, if you have an older watch, you will see that the second hand will be much more uneven in the way that it moves. But this is really, really nice, I think. You get a domed sapphire crystal here with anti-reflective coating, which isn't very good, but I will get into that a little later. You get a see-through case back here, which is treated with kind of a orange, bluish kind of layer on the sapphire crystal, see-through sapphire crystal here, which gives it a kind of a blue-orange kind of look. Unfortunately, it's very easy to scratch off which I already did, if you can just sense it here. They also put on their own custom rotor here with the Pegasus and the stripes. So, and I believe that the stripes here should actually resembling the wings of the Pegasus here, as you see. So quite a nice detail, nothing too crazy, because you are able to order your custom rotors today. So what we get also on the case back here is very nicely put on into the stainless steel here on the screw down case back. The different information about this watch. So 20 atmosphere is of course 200 meters water resistance. You get vetro zafiro, which I believe means sapphire crystal. See-through sapphire crystal, probably, maybe. Aged in Italy, which actually means that what they mean by this is that they source the parts from around the world. I believe all of them from Asia. I'm not quite sure, but the movement is Asian, so probably they source all the parts from Asia, although I can't say that with 100% confirmation. But they hand build the watches in Venice. So they source the parts, then they hand build them, they quality test all the watches in the workshop, and then they send out the watches. So you get a higher grade of quality, sense of quality with these watches than many other micro brands who just order a big batch of watches directly from Asia. And even also a lot of the companies are just getting the watches sent out from Asia, so they don't even quality test each and every watch. They just take a sample and then say, okay, that's fine. we are able to send them out to our customers. So what you get here is Movimento Automatico, which of course means automatic movement, and a Casio 316L, which that is stainless steel. You get a signed crown here. Let me just try to zoom in. As you can see here, the Pegasus, very nice detail. You get the Pegasus here on the crown. And let me just try to zoom out a bit again. Okay, and the leather strap, this comes on either a lighter brown leather strap as the one on the, as you can see here, on the Mercurio, or you can get it on this darker leather strap. You can also get it on a rubber strap, this one, on a blue rubber strap, which of course, if you're actually going to use this watch for diving or swimming, you would of course prefer to get it on the blue leather strap. So, and it's also a little cheaper if you, the blue rubber strap, and of course it's also a little cheaper if you get it on the rubber strap. So this is a handmade Italian leather. So you get the company name here, handmade, not company name, but handmade in Italy. The buckle is also signed with Pegasus, and the stitching is very nicely done. It's a nice thick leather strap. It just oozes quality, this leather strap. As you can see, which is actually a good thing. As you can see, this is where I put in the buckle to get it to fit my wrist, and as you can see, I have just made the hole here a little bit bigger, and that's just a quality sign, because this is leather, so it's going to react to what you're doing to it. So very nicely, and it's super nice and super comfortable to put on the wrist the first time. You don't have to really beat in this leather. You don't have to wear it for a month before it feels nice. It's just really nice leather with nice stitching and super nice leather strap. So nothing there, a lot higher quality than you would ever get with any Seiko Orient or something Japanese watch. So what we get here with the movement, it's hacking, and it's hand windable, and of course it's a screw down crown here, so you can keep the water out, and you just pull it all the way out, and then you stop the second hand, and you can set the time. At the first position, you can set the date, and it's actually the 16th. So now I got the right date. If we look a little closer at the dial, maybe I should just get the hour hand out of the way. So now we should be able to see everything. Okay, so if we look at the dial here, what we of course get here is the Pegasus logo, very nicely printed on the dial, the blue dial. You get Nettuno, Movimento Automatico, aged in Italy, and of course the water resistance is 600 and what is it, 60 feet, which equals 20 atmospheres, which equals 200 meters. You get the date window here at 3 o'clock. You get these very nice loomed hands, which of course is as looking at hands from a Rolex Submariner. So if we just compare it to the real thing, you can see the hands are essentially the same. Though a lot of things differs between these two watches, this is of course an homage to the Rolex Submariner, or at least I would actually not call it an homage. I would probably say that it's very inspired. It's taking a lot of its design cues from the Rolex Submariner. As you can also see in the rehort here, if you're able to just sense it, you get the Pegasus written in here, which they do on newer Rolex watches. At the dial, the bezel, of course, is completely like a Rolex with the same design and font, and you get a very nice lume pip, very nicely placed here. It's an extremely nice bezel. The click action on this bezel is just super nice. No play whatsoever. So I'm very satisfied with the bezel action on this watch, which just oozes quality. So that's very, very nice. As you can see, the case is lightly brushed. It's not a completely tool watch like brushing. It's a lighter brushing, but no polishing whatsoever. This is just entirely brushed, which actually is one of the points of why I think it stands a bit out from the Submariner. If you look at the side of the case here, if you look at the locks, this is more straight, the old school Rolex way, and it's polished here. If we look at the locks on this one, on the Pegasus watch here in the Nettuno, you get these kind of curved locks, which means that it hugs your wrist much more. You get a polishing, which I really think is super cool, because it gives it a kind of a tool watch kind of feel, with this very delicate blue dial and this domed sapphire. If you look at the real thing, the real Rolex, it's a very flat crystal. If you look at this one, it's slightly domed. You also don't get the magnifying glass here, so that's also a thing that you wouldn't see on a real Submariner date Submariner. You have to remove it if you don't want the Cyclops here. Just give you a closer look at the watch here. So let me just try to put this watch on my wrist. So my wrist is 7.1 inch wide. This is just about 17.5 to 18 centimeters. And I think it wears super, super comfortable. It's a perfect size for me. I think that usually I would say 44 is my upper limit, and this 42 millimeter watch is just, it really does the job very well. So the lume, I will put a lume shot up at the end of this video. I would just like to say, I'm not super happy with the lume. I think it's actually quite disappointing, even though this is fitted with the Super Luminova product. So the Swiss Super Luminova product, and but for some reason the lume is just not very strong. I think it's a bit disappointing, because you get these big indices, and you get the loomed hands, and you get the lume pip here, and still I think the lume is not very good. I don't know, maybe it has something to do with the sapphire crystal here, with the treatment of it. I don't know, but for some reason it's just not very bright, and it doesn't shine for very long. So quite a big letdown with the lume. So just before we get into the lume shot, I would like to wrap up this review by just pointing out some positives and negatives. So all in all, you get a very nice watch for the price which I paid. Again, we don't want to discuss prices too much. It's always up to the consumer. It's the way the market works. So let's not try to be pricing experts here like they do on many other channels. I think all in all, a very nice watch. A watch that is super comfortable. Everything feels very nice apart from the lume. I'm not super happy, as I said, with the lume, but all in all, I think the attention to details, the build quality, the feeling of the bezel action, the way the whole watch just feels, and how it feels to wear, and how the movement works, I think is all in all a nice package. So whether you decide to buy this watch or not, I would just say if you decide to buy it, it's a nice watch. The colors are excellent. I think it's such a beautiful blue color, this one, and wearing this during the summer is just, it's a nice pop of blue on your wrists. So let's take some of the points which I think is a little bit disappointing. Of course, the lume, as I said, it's not that good. I also think that the anti-reflective coating treatment on this crystal is not very good. As you can just see here, it's too shiny. You really have to wriggle your wrist the right way to just get the right angle, so you don't get this shiny feel, so you can't read the time. Also, I would say that a thing I'm a little disappointed with as well is the feel when you wind the movement. It just, you get some resistance, but it just feels too soft. It's not like it's not buttery smooth. It's just like you don't even feel that you're hand winding the movement. And I just really like I think that's a quality stamp of a watch, that you can really hear and feel the sound of winding a watch. So with all that out of the way, this was my review of the Pegasus Nettuno watch, the blue version. Have a look at the website if you're interested in this watch. I don't think you're actually able to buy it yet, which I think is a little strange, since this watch has been out for quite some time. So they should be able to actually sell it to people who didn't back them on Kickstarter, but I don't know why. I will be right back with the review of the Mercurio, which I showed you in the beginning of this video. Remember to subscribe, leave me a like if you like this video, leave me a comment. If you have any questions, you can comment or email me. Follow me on my Instagram profile to get pictures of watches long before I review them. Also, remember to follow me on Facebook, like my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Okay, and here we have the lume on the Nettuno. As you can see, it's not very bright. It's Swiss super lume, you know what they say, but it's not very, very good. It's way better than on the Mercurio, as you can see in the other review, but this is just not very, very good. It's a big disappointment, I would say.